Hey, greetings. How you mom and them? Welcome back. This is Far Reaches Podcast. We're here. We appreciate you being here too. I'm not sure which of us is crazier, but we'll discuss that later. Maybe even have a contest. So welcome back to Far Reaches, where we all get together every week and talk about what makes us the same and what makes us different. Little reminders. We are on wherever you find your traditional podcasts. You can find us there. Also on YouTube. So if you want to see all this magic happen as it unfolds before your eyes, get over to YouTube, go to Far Reaches Podcast, like, subscribe, hit the dinger bell. So that way it's easy to share. You know when a new episode comes up, and you can see these four smiley faces every week. Now, how can you turn that down? So, good day, everybody. How's it all going out there?
Doing great.
Doing good.
That's what I freaking like to hear. Yeah.
Look at all that enthusiasm.
It's just freaking boiling over. I might have to edit it out. I don't know what to tell you. As you notice, we haven't had Mr. Joel on in a couple weeks, I think. And so you can see the background, different background for him. Mr. Joel, would you like to kick off our weekly updates and just tell us what's going on in your twisted world this week?
Sure. So I've escaped New York City.
Well done.
I'm on day 12, I think, of local quarantine. So you got to put New Yorkers in a box and keep us away from the public for 2 weeks. So that's almost up. On Saturday, we're going to go out. Actually, I don't know. I'm going to break it tomorrow because the bar is opening up. I'm going to go to the Semioti's and order a drink.
Yeah, well,
I've been anxious to do that for.
Can you just get one drink at Symbioti's?
That's how it always starts. And we just know better because after that, it just comes untrained. Yeah.
I think you should introduce yourself as Snake Plissken and see if you can get more.
For the two people in the bar that might get that, it'll be worthwhile. Yeah.
So yeah, for the last I guess 2 weeks now, I've been in my brother's barn. He has an apartment above his barn, which is awesome. Like there's horses right below me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it's been in the 70s up into the 80s since I've been here. So, and you can just walk right outside. There's a big parking lot out there to hang out in and drink beer, and families come over and keep us entertained. We stay, you stay try to stay 6 feet apart, but
you guys can't count. Great. So yeah, is it like the barn on Roadhouse? Where Dalton had the opening?
Yeah.
Versus, yeah. Okay. Cool.
That's like a great comparison. It is a lot like that. I mean, it's not as cool, but
no. Well, yeah. What's her name? Not running around there for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and Pete Swayze's not in the room. If anywhere Pete Swayze was pretty cool to be, right?
Word.
But yeah, it's going great. It's a really good move. It's a little nerve-wracking to get on an airplane, and it's kind of interesting walking through JFK Airport with nobody in the airport hardly at all, and everything's closed, and the people who are there wearing masks, and then you get off in Seattle and nobody's wearing a mask. And I've resisted masks. I actually didn't wear a mask on the airplane. Everybody else was. And I brought my own booze on because in the airplanes are not serving anything.
But you can bring your own.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
So, yeah, it was fine. I flew first class because I figured separate myself from the rest of the plebs.
The huddled masses.
Yeah, but I think other people, the back of the plane was pretty empty, and then first class was almost entirely full. So that backfired, but I got away with it. I escaped. I figured I'd be sick by now if I was going to get sick.
Yeah. Congratulations. Yeah, you made it out. Way to go.
Yeah.
And you've been telecommuting for work and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, and now we had a team meeting yesterday, and more to come on this because apparently this causes some tax issues for my company. So they have to figure out if I'm allowed to stay.
Ah, interesting. And we should
I
probably
shouldn't have
ask
told him.
Oregon if you can stay too. Yeah, there's probably a vote on that. So
I met Kate Brown once, so she'd keep me. She
yeah,
likes
that
me.
might not help you. So I wouldn't talk about that. Yeah.
I get it. I know why. People here hate her.
That's
with
a strong word.
passion,
It's probably
with
not
a
strong
fiery
enough.
passion.
It's not fun.
Like she seems fine. You know, back at the beginning of the coronavirus thing, New York was running out of those ventilators, and dude, Kate Brown stepped up and shipped a bunch of them to New York. She's great.
Sure did. Yeah. Yeah. She did more for New York than she's probably done for Oregon. So that's pretty cool.
Calm down.
Was that out loud? I apologize. No, I do not apologize. Yeah. So
I think she's one of our listeners, so you better be careful.
Well, good day, KB. Welcome. Yeah, that's her screen name, KB1. So glad to have you aboard. Yeah. Anything else to add to your weekly update there for us?
No, I was just outside in the barn with my brother and Junior's here. And Junior is giving us shit that he doesn't listen to this and why are you going to do this? And then he dropped then he made fun of me for not knowing what turning out cows was.
So he was listening.
I'm like, dude, that was in the middle of one of the episode 6. You definitely listen to this podcast. You liar.
Oh, that's classic. I love it. Yeah. We'll have to have the secret Junior word we hide in the podcast just to see, what he's picking up on.
Oh, Fluffy.
That's beautiful. Poor Fluffy. Yeah.
Look at that setup with Raleigh.
Yeah, look, Rawls. Let's go to beautiful Joseph, Oregon, and what's going on in your world, my good sir?
We're finally getting some good rain, so I don't have to irrigate right now. Looks like we've got a full week of it in the forecast, so that'll be really nice to have. Just working on equipment right now, getting things ready. We'll probably be cutting hay here in right around a month, just depending on what the forecast looks like then. Cows are all doing good right now. I haven't had any more wolf issues just yet, so
Outstanding.
knock on wood, that's a good thing. The wife is still in California and on her way home tomorrow. Then just kind of business as usual. Bought a baler out of Nevada today that I've got to go get sometime in the next 2 weeks.
Oh, awesome. And a damn fine looking baler, I might add.
Yeah, absolutely. Haven't had any more feedback on the wolf killing incident article. Although I have had a reporter want to do a follow-up interview, and he got immediately introduced on my dislike for reporters and why I don't like to talk to them. And I don't know a whole lot else going on right now. Just kind of business as usual. So
I missed a lot. So you killed a wolf and then had an interview with a reporter?
not exactly.
We're here live.
We should have done a catch-up session.
Yeah, it was
before
like cops. They're follow along with Blount County cops, and they bail out. Good question, Mr. Joel. Yeah, good question.
Well,
So in a Far Reaches podcast exclusive last week, we had an interview with the elusive Blount County rancher, Raleigh Bigsby, about his recent interaction with one of the wolven kind.
yeah. So if you need caught up on that, Joel, I guess we can catch up on it now or later. But I suppose we should move forward with what Richard's up to.
Oh, Richard.
Raleigh doesn't like to talk about the wolves.
Yeah.
He feels bad for shooting it.
I wear my first faith mask today.
Your first
That
what?
was exciting. Huh? I wore a face mask today.
Oh.
I had to go to the hospital. I went through this screening, and they checked my temperature, and I knew half the nurses there, so they knew I was there's no
Questionable.
hope for me. So
Yeah.
so, anyways, they just ushered me on, hoping to get rid of me as fast as possible. I was so excited yesterday. I turned out the last of the cattle in Adel, and then this evening, about 4:00, 120 of them showed up from California. So we're starting the turning out process again.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so maybe by next time this week, I can say that there'll be no more cattle in the valley, and they're all out in their range or pasture settings. So that'll be exciting.
All the kids are at
And
summer
then,
camp. Yeah.
yes.
The cows just
And,
wandered up from California,
Yeah. They said
just
"Screw that
walked
place
onto the
down."
property.
So I got to tell you one of my gripes of the week. We sent some cattle down. We sent 120 head of cattle down to California, and we have truck drivers that we use pretty religiously because they're always there for us in a pinch, and we can count on them. So we throw them as much work as we want. Run down to California is good money for them, so we try and send them that. But the place that we sent our cattle to, for winter pasture, they had their own trucks, so they insisted that they use their trucks. We paid a premium price for it.
Union
But,
operation or
it's all-
something?
Huh?
Was it a union operation or something?
I don't know. So we agreed. We paid a little bit of premium price for it. We thought, well, that's all works. It's a new relationship. It's all part of the package. They call us last couple weeks ago, say those cows will be coming home. We'll gather them. We'll call you and let you know when they're coming. Then they call us and they say, oh yeah, we're not bringing them back. You have to find your own trucks. Now, granted, this is the hardest time of the year to find a truck on the West Coast.
Yeah.
So with 3 days notice, we had to wrangle up 4 trucks. And we have a truck, but we can't take it into California because California.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so I'm trying to figure out how that works. And I guess we'll have to talk about that next year when they insist on hauling down. That probably gonna be one of those round trip deals that they got just at the end. So that's my gripe for the week about truck drivers. I could come up with one every week. Mostly it's about myself, but yeah.
You don't have to give us the ID of the truck driver in question. Yeah.
The worst one I know. Yeah.
That guy again.
Yeah. He's a real SOB to deal with. But then I had a really cool conversation just out of the blue from a guy in Bozeman, Montana this morning that is a guy that made $1 gazillion in Silicon Valley doing internet stuff. And he is starting a like Airbnb type of hunting operation. So, and they already having really good success. And so what they do is they find ranches and stuff, and they link them with like high dollar hunters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called Land Trust. Really interesting concept, and we really hit it off. And I think that Raleigh probably might be interested in this, so I'll get them hooked up. But yeah, so I've had people approach me about leasing or hunting rights and that kind of stuff before, but it always just seemed like this giant pain. And with this service, it comes with the insurance already, and they do all the booking and everything. And like, so they show up and you give them the rules and they go do their thing, and 2 or 3 days they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got some guy that he signed up in Montana that's already booked something like $16,000 worth of hunting trips. So anyways, I'm interested to see how that goes down. And that's in my week.
Beauty. Well, I was Lincoln kind of came partially off lockdown, or what lockdown it was on Monday. So you had hairdressers and some restaurantes and et cetera opening up on Monday. So I was pretty excited because I need a haircut. this stuff's getting cray. And so, as sharp-eyed viewers will notice, I still need a haircut. So I made my appointment online with the old sport clips, because you get the smack across the face and the good shampoo, and then they throw you out the door and you get to watch TV. So, and it's close by, pretty handy. So you check in online, you go down. Of course, they've got some special protocol in place. They have your name gets plastered up in the window when you can come inside. So, but you're supposed to go check in inside when you get there again. So I go to check in. Of course, I get the, sir, do you have a mask? And I just laugh. I said, no, I don't have no freaking mask. And everybody in there looks like they're in surgery, and I'm like, they're like, well, sir, city ordinance or something or other, you have to have a mask. And I'm like, well, I don't wear a mask, so we're out of luck. Let's figure something out. I mean, you're cutting my hair and I'm supposed to wear a mask. That doesn't make any sense. Well, we can sell you a mask for $2 if you want one of those. And I'm like, you're not getting my point. I ain't wearing no goddamn mask, and I ain't getting my hair cut here today. You may cancel my appointment, and I bid you good day. So you can see the mouth open through the mask, and I'm like, goodbye. I'm like, you're wearing a mask. If you want to wear one, that's up to you. I shall not. So I have an appointment with a guy I know that is a semi-retired barber, has a shop in the back of his house next week. So I will get a haircut next week. If he insists,
Mask free.
Probably so. Yeah. So, but way to start your Monday off. You're all excited, and then you run into mass stupidity. And so, yeah, I just bid them good day, politely, but promptly and curtly, I left. So, yeah, that was the beginning of my week. It's been better since then, I should say, but entertaining. Who knew the street value of a mask is $2? A high quality mask it must have been, probably a freaking Mickey Mouse on it or something. So
I saw an article today about mask usage, and they compared it to men's compliance versus men versus women and their compliance with the mask orders. And of course, like, men and far fewer numbers wear masks than women, and it's because men view masks as uncool and not masculine.
But the word mask is in masculine. No, in the summertime.
Sure, that's a coincidence.
When I get like hay fever, I used to haul hay by hand, and I'd get hay fever sometimes. I'd wear a hay mask, dust mask, because it kept out the hay particles. So I'd wear one. It sucked. Couldn't hardly breathe. It'd sweat. You get the weird freaking tan line. But I see
mask tan line.
You do, yeah. Because I mean, like, I had glasses back then, like this big, and then the mask comes up right here. It fogs them up. It really sucks, but it was better than sneezing my head off, because it kept the hay particles out. The mask I have, or people running around, or your old underwear across your face, I don't see it doing any good. People say, well, it keeps the spit down. Well,
I'm
I don't know how close they're going to be. There was just an article today about a guy who said he got it through his eyes, because guess what, kids? You have a mask on and everybody else does. It's still outside. It's not like we just got here to this virgin territory today and I've not been exposed to anything, so I better step off my spaceship and wear my mask. It's everywhere already, so it's going to get in my eyes if anywhere. That's common sense in my mind. So it's not about masculine, it's about common sense and not just saying, oh yes, as you wish. So that's why I don't wear a mask.
I can recognize it a little bit in myself, where, like, I'm anti-mask, and a little bit of it is that you look like a dork and you look like a pussy when you're wearing a mask. Okay, fair enough. Like, that is your study, and men are stupid. Like, okay, fine. I'm stupid.
Sure.
I'm okay with that.
My choice, right?
I'm man enough to, like, accept that I'm stupid for it. Let's move on. I'm not wearing a mask.
Yeah, no, I think it's
I felt sorry for all the hospital workers, because I only had to wear one for 45 minutes.
Yeah, it sucks.
Breathing is tough. It's just
wearing a mask all day if you're in a hospital is dangerous.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if it's dangerous.
Well, it's not as healthy as
you're
definitely lowering your system. I think all your carbon monoxide is going back in and everything else. And, I think they change their mask quite frequently. I think too, probably between customers, so to speak. So that's the other part about it, is they really are a temporary thing. just like gloves. You see people wearing gloves around, you just want to take them off and smack the crap out of them with them. Like, what are you doing wearing rubber gloves in the store? Like, you just drag everything from everywhere, like on this beautiful surface. You know, yeah, it doesn't, unless you're like walking around licking your hands and poking yourself in the eyes, your hands are all exposed all the time anyways. And what about, well, I got wrists, I got elbows, I got all other parts of my body. What do I do with those? So it's ridiculous in my opinion. If you want to, by all means, I wear scrubs. I don't care, but don't expect me to. And I just think it's a quick way to look across the crowd and see who's actually, I think, thinking a little bit. You see mask, 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 no mask, 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 no mask. I'm like, aha, what's up, brother? Yeah. So,
yeah.
I think we missed the simplest solution. As soon as this started, everybody should immediately have started chewing Copenhagen.
That'll do her.
Because it kills everything in your mouth.
Absolutely.
All diseases. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then any spittle that got out would be rendered inert and you couldn't pick it up. So, you know, we should have just gone to the Copenhagen.
Are you saying that would have snuffed it out?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Add $1 billion to one of those congressional packages for free Copenhagen for anybody who wants it.
Yep.
At least finally something I can get behind. Yeah, that's. Yeah. No, I got dust mask in my shop for when I'm working on stuff. Built some tables last winter. I was sanding on stuff, dust everywhere. Put my mask on because you wake up in the middle of the night and you're hacking up a Presto log. So, you know, it does that job. That's what it's for. But I'm not going to pull it out of the drawer to go drive my car, especially. Those people should be run off the road and beaten. People driving around in their car with a freaking mask on. Sorry. It just gets me all riled up.
I was out putting an electric fence out in the middle of nowhere, and there's a bike lane that goes by this place where I was at, and I was messing around my pickup. And two people, I kid you not, they're miles away from anybody but myself, were riding their bikes with their masks on in the open air.
Yeah. My buddy said he saw people wearing them to the restaurant the other day. What are you like? Are you blending everything up and putting it through a straw to the top of your mask, or you just pull it down real quick, eat, and then pull it back up? I mean, what's the logistics on that moment of brilliance? Like, if the servers, if they decide they should wear it, whatever. Again, I'm not judging that. It's like, you're gonna go eat somewhere and you're gonna wear a mask in there to go eat. I don't explain that one to me. It would be fun to walk up, pull it back, and put a biscuit in it and just let it go, I suppose. But
there's been some tremendous advancements in the last month and a half in suppositories.
That could be handy. Probably not quite the dining experience that your fellow diners would maybe not like. Yeah, sir, can't you get that to go? Dear Lord, yeah. Just load me up and send me out the door. Thank you so much. Yeah.
I want to hear Raleigh's thoughts on masks.
It's
all,
it's just bullshit.
There it is.
Yeah.
I agree.
Rough. It's choice. If you want to wear one,
yeah, go ahead.
Fine.
If you want to, you know what? I have a whole box of those fancy masks that everybody was looking for with the little plastic caps on the front of the mask. But I have hay fever worse than anybody I've ever met. And when I'm in the hay business, putting it up and whatnot, I wear them all the time.
Yeah.
But that allowed me to breathe when I was done being around the hay. So I'm not going to knock them, but there's 1,000 other ways to contract this virus that aren't going to come through the mask. I mean, does it? I suppose if you're in a highly populated area and it allows for the contraction rate to be reduced, yeah, I get it. But people need to quit being so freaking afraid of dying. Start living a little bit.
Yeah, because they're not living. That's the point. Yeah, completely agree. Yeah, I guess if you're in the subway and there's another a-hole like literally 4 inches from your face, yeah, maybe mask. But shit, man, I've been on the subway to go to a Red Sox game and there's literally people like in my pants. That's how close you It's a great way to meet people. You know, I didn't.
Yeah.
I might have caught
Look at-
something, but it wasn't that. So
That sounds like a good time, actually.
it was pretty good, actually. Yeah, take me out to the ballpark anytime. Yeah. So
Sounds like the old woman gambit at the Letter Buck room.
yeah, exactly. We've all got immunity since we've been in LBR. So
That's a good segue. You guys want to talk about the Pendleton Roundup a little bit?
we could. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
yes.
so OPB tweeted out. They wrote an article and tweeted out that the current plan for the Roundup is it's a go.
Mm-hmm.
They have to work with the government to make sure that they're following any best practices. But I think that's a great decision. Like, it's 3 months away.
Yeah.
It's nonsense to cancel something that far away when we don't know how bad it's going to be. I don't know. I was happy to see that.
As was I. Yes, there was a lot of kerfuffle prior to, a lot of comments back and forth of like, and I brought up like right after 9/11, man, we had Roundup, and there were serious talks about are we going to get targeted? Are we going to get blown up? Should we have it? And I remember it was like, hey, we can stay home and cry, or we can go do what we're going to do. And if they do something, so be it. And yeah, I caught hell because Roundup's not, or 9/11 wasn't a virus. It's similar. It's about choice. You know, if you want to choose to stay home, that's fine. You can't make me stay home, and I can't make you go outside. So if you want to come to Roundup, we'll see you there.
That's really the crux of it, because they're trying to make you stay home.
Yeah.
I just can't fathom like how that is so acceptable.
Yeah, because it's for the good, and they want to get shamed for not doing it. But people are saying, like when LA is saying we're going to be closed down till July. Why wouldn't you? Sure. People aren't happy with that, you know, so I'm really glad.
Yeah.
Yes,
I don't disagree with your guys' perspective on it. The one thing that I find interesting is the Pendleton Roundup isn't just a rodeo anymore. It's a big business. So
yeah.
From a business standpoint, and I don't know how it works with liability insurance, but it's got to be concerning that there's insurance companies out there that look at this and go, gosh, if you have an outbreak of corona, what's that going to do with lawsuits for you? There's other concerns as well. Rodeo in general is completely subsidized by major sponsors all over the place. Well, you start looking at a lot of the sponsorship, where they're coming from. These businesses have all been shut down for several months now, haven't had any income coming in. What's their ability to get behind the rodeo right now? And you've got to be able to sell tickets and seats to make money at that rodeo. Are you going to fill your seats enough to make it profitable? I mean, there's some serious business questions that come to mind when I think about it. And I grew up, born and raised, and was in Happy Canyon when I was still shitting my diapers. And
that wasn't that long ago.
I don't want to see it not happen, but from strictly a business standpoint, I question whether they're doing it for profitability or just doing it because.
Yeah, I think that was a good time. It's a good point, Rawls. I think, but for two reasons. Yeah, it's a business for sure. The town relies on a lot of that. Like that's harvest for town.
And I don't disagree, but it's kind of like, so years ago, I had a horse entered in a horse sale at the Cattle Barons in Pendleton, and that horse flu went through. I forget what flu it was called.
Yeah.
But it completely, nobody wanted to bring their horses. Nobody wanted to do anything because they didn't want to get anything infected when they go back to the ranch.
West Nile, that's what it was. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't West Nile. It was equine influenza.
Oh yeah.
Well, I guess I look at this as a similar situation. You're trying to sell seats, but are you going to be able to sell enough seats to make it profitable when everybody is potentially going to have to sit 6 feet apart, or are they going to have to not want to go because it's going to be too crowded and there's going to be concerns? I mean, it's kind of there's some consumer confidence that's going to be for them for what they're trying to sell.
I agree. I think part of it is you have to plan for it's going to happen, and you always have the option then if in late August or early September shit's completely upside down or they've sold 5 tickets or whatever, they're like, sorry, got to pull the plug. Yeah. I know there was a rodeo in Northern California last week, though, that was freaking nut to butt packed.
Yeah, Cottonwood was.
Yeah, absolutely. People were like, we are going to the rodeo, son. So I'm sure, if it goes off, attendance will be down. I'm sure. But again, we're talking middle of September. We saw how quickly going this way, it's gone apeshit crazy. I don't think it's going to reverse as quick, but it damn sure could as soon as people start poking their heads up and saying screw this and moving on and looking at Florida and looking at Georgia, looking at South Dakota, where people have been out and about and nothing's going wrong as we know of right now.
Well,
it's risky though, but I think they have to take it that way.
You take based on the facts that they're giving us on the coronavirus and what the warnings are to try to avoid contact and try to avoid contract. You taking a town of 17,000, I believe, is what the population had been here.
Yep.
And you're tripling, quadrupling it in size for a week, and it's not the butt. I really hope it goes off great, but I hope they don't have egg on their face if people do contract this and have a problem. I'd hate to see that be the label that's put on the Pendleton Roundup.
Yeah, they're really finding that as more time passes, they're finding that like the spread of coronavirus in an outdoor setting is so rare. Like something like 96% of all cases have been spread indoors in confined spaces.
An outdoor setting.
The bad news is that might mean that the letter buck room won't be open. And if that's the case, is it even worth having Roundup?
Well, the entire,
go to Double D.
Well, the entire premises of the Roundup is drinking and consumption in bars. I mean, it's socially acceptable to be an alcoholic. So
yeah, it says it on the back of your ticket.
Everywhere you go to drink, with the exception of being in the stands or maybe a few of the outdoor bars, is a extremely crowded place, and it begs for concern as to whether or not that's going to be allowed. I mean, under the ruling that they have in this phase 1 of things, I mean, you still kind of keep your social distancing. It'll be interesting to see what they get pulled off.
Well, I just envisioned Max's beer garden runs from basically now the outside gates of the Roundup all through the parking lot, all past PGG. Like, hell, all right, we're going to have 6-foot spacing. I'm going to have a 15-acre beer garden. Enjoy. I mean, I can envision it right now, like basically from the Roundup grounds to Max to PGG, all the way down to Dave's beer garden. Wholesome bitch. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. It might totally stumble. There might be 8 people, and I don't even know if somebody could find out the number of annual season ticket holders already. We bought our tickets very first of March or into February. I think our money was due. We're already pot committed, as they would say. So nothing else. I mean, I'll be showing up with my tickets, but it'll be interesting because I dare say if they don't have it, you're probably not getting your money back for that anyways. It's just the joy of holding annual tickets. So
how screwed up would things be if you go to the Pendleton Roundup and you get sick with coronavirus and then you try to sue somebody? You try to sue the Roundup for that? Like,
you could. I mean, how can you prove you got it? I mean, that's the
yeah. I mean,
we need to talk about the really important event that week that got canceled.
Lakeview.
Happy Canyon or what?
Burning Man.
Oh, far out, man.
They were already talking about suing Burning Man for canceling. So
yeah, what do? You're going to sue if you're going to go open. You're going to get sued if you close. Man, doesn't everybody wear a mask on the playa as it is?
Oh yeah, yeah.
They do wear masks, don't they?
But for much different reasons.
Well, there's that too. Yeah, it's my spirit world animal. But I forgot about the old Burning Man. How could I do that? I feel bad.
But they were on federal property, so I imagine that probably was one of the biggest choices. But yeah, that's going to be a huge hit down in this part of the world. That considerable amount of people trans going through here. So, but they may have put the planning and everything. Well, there's a lot of planning that goes into the Pendleton Roundup too. But with the lottery system for the tickets and stuff for Burning Man, I think they probably just, it was too overwhelming to try and pull it off. So, but, and then I heard that there was a NASCAR race going on last weekend.
No, this weekend. This
And
weekend.
is it just going to be nobody in the stands, or
Nobody in the
is it gonna
stands.
be
Yep.
in-
They've been doing iRacing these past 6 or 7 weeks. So it was
yeah, man.
online. They were racing online, and you could watch it on TV, and they had the real announcers. And I watched the crap out of it. Yeah, it was awesome.
And then UFC last weekend. That was
Yeah.
great.
No, nobody in the stands. Yeah.
They've been doing PBR too.
Is there everybody in the stands for that anyways? Oh! Yeah.
So you're saying that the Barrel Racing Association hasn't noticed about coronavirus yet?
Yeah, them and Nickelback still haven't.
Oh, I can already. There's going to be hate mail. I'm sorry. I just ruined our podcast.
Well, that's all right. It's if Junior's listening and we talk about Nickelback or not. So. Sorry. Oh yeah, we've called down the thunder several times. So, speaking of that, last week we let Richard got to pick the movie of the week that we're gonna delve into and talk about. Damn it, Joel, we're gonna have to circle back and get some of your thoughts. Not this time, next time on Quiet Man 2, because a lot of anticipation about what you would think about that. But
Oh gosh, I haven't watched it yet.
yeah, I know. So that's why we'll do it next time. But yeah, so this week Richard had picked Alien, the 1979, really classic. I had not seen since probably 1981, at least in its entirety. I couldn't tell you the last time I ever sat down and like hit play, opening credits, watched it all to the bitter end. So thank you for that, because I haven't never done that, and it was a lot more intense than I recall. So why did you pick Alien, Mr. Bradbury? I'm curious, because there's one thing in particular that really struck me, and I was wondering if you're a subliminal genius or just blind ass luck.
One of the reasons I thought, since we were sort of exploring the character type of John Wayne, I thought, man, Ridley in Aliens is like the female John Wayne in all those movies. So I thought explore that. And who doesn't like Xenomorphs? So I just thought it was a pretty. It's just one of my favorite series. I even like the newer one. So
yeah,
and I forgot the actual scary one is Aliens with an S.
Yeah,
this one's more of a thriller, but
yes, they
really ramp it up in the Aliens movie.
Round 2 is a little more extreme. I started watching it, and a few minutes in, they land on this planet. There's a distress call. Somebody's going like extra deep exploring. Like I just said, nope, I'm out. Like he's way down in the cavern and all the eggs, and he finds the alien eggs. Doesn't really know what they are to begin with. And he gets attacked. This thing just comes out and like a pan of lasagna right on his face. And so they're trying to bring him back on the ship, and they're like, no, look. We've got quarantine rules. He has to stay out there for 24 hours. And I start dying laughing. I'm like, Richard, you freaking genius. Is that why you picked Alien? Because that's perfect, And so, as we all know, they don't adhere to the 24-hour quarantine because he could die because he's got this freaking SpongeBob thing on his face. And so they bring him in, and naturally everything goes to shit. So, yeah, I really cracked up at that. So I knew maybe even if you didn't do it consciously, I'm thinking subconsciously, you did. And for those of you who aren't watching right now, Richard's got this really far off look like, hell yeah, I did. Damn right. That's why I picked this movie. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. No, I was thinking when I was watching it, I knew it was old. I thought it was an 80s movie. I did not realize it was late 70s, but I thought, if you just update the computer screens, did the George Lucas thing and went through and digitized everything, it would be a movie that would be successful now, I think.
Oh, no doubt. It was awesome. I thought it was great. Even even the scenery and everything, even now, I was like, that looks pretty damn good.
Did I pick up on I think they went to like, was it Saturn? Where were they?
I don't
What
know. They're
planet did they go?
coming back from something like that, I think, where they're in their, the classic, we got to get in our sleep state to go a long distance. And we got woke up early because I think they're coming back from maybe Saturn, Joel, I think.
I like how they couldn't even imagine the fact that we could have communication between Earth and their ship. That's the only thing that would have been accurate, is that we could communicate with them.
Yeah.
Because they were too far away in the movie to talk to Houston or wherever.
That's a whole
Florida, Houston.
I forget what the name of the company is. Walden? Anyways, the company name is not only in Aliens, but it's also in the Firefly movie and the movie. Remember the Kurt Russell movie Soldier?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You said like 3 words the entire movie?
The same company that owns that has the robots and the spaceship and everything also owns Kurt Russell's character in the movie Soldier.
Oh, nice. Tie that all packaged up together for me. Yeah.
It's the Aliens universe, and it extends into like Josh Whedon's Firefly and Dollhouse and Soldier, and there's a whole bunch of different movies where they put them all in the same universe. But I think the interesting thing that I picked up on this time that I'd never picked up on before is the egg, the repeat how eggs are sort of where everything comes from. And if you notice in all the movies, the eggs are sort of a central thing. Mm-hmm. But in every movie, they all wake up out of the sleeping chambers, which is shaped as an egg.
Like an egg, kind of.
So you have to ask the question is, if everything that comes out of an egg bad, is the humans in the new environment where the xenomorphs is, are we really invading them or are they invading us?
Wow.
Deep. Like
so
Canyon. Yeah, that's your new nickname. Canyon. Yeah. Deep. That's far out, Redberg. Yeah.
We're the virus.
That's a great t-shirt, Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are the virus. No, I'd forgotten too that what's his dick was an android in the movie, because they don't realize it till they start, he goes kind of guano and like
that was so ridiculous.
They like knock his head like off, and I'm like, what the? Oh, that's right. He's an android. That's right. I thought it was like another alien had taken over already, or something. Like maybe he was an alien himself, and I was like, oh, I totally forgot. Yeah, because I think in the other ones there's that situation too where they kind of give somebody crap because he's an alien. Isn't that the one where he's doing the knife thing on the desk?
Yeah, there's only one where they know who the android is. In all the other ones, it's like you gotta guess. In the fourth one, which is not the best one, it turns out to be Winona Ryder.
Well, shit,
Michael Fassbender was one. Sorry.
I'll forget by then, anyways. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
But if you think of the androids, they all have unique qualities. Sort of like they sort of have an autistic quality where they focus on one thing. Like in Prometheus, Fassbender's focus was on T.H. Lawrence, which is Lawrence of the Liber, and then I'd have to go back and watch them all, but they all have this unique fixation that they focus on. And it's not as visible in the first movie, but as they develop the android characters through all the movies, it becomes they have these things that just as unique to them that they're fixated on, which I think is interesting.
You think they're trying to copy human thoughts and actions with that undertone?
Yeah.
Take some of that. Look at Joel. Joel's just like he's in Neverland. Yeah.
Well, I've been thinking here. I have some thoughts on this movie. Well, one in particular, I watched it last night and I slept on it, and I've been thinking about it all day, and I can't figure it out.
Oh, cool.
What was the deal with the fucking cat? Why did they take a cat into space
Yes.
in the first place. Like, it was going to get mice out of this spaceship. By the way, this spaceship was so cavernous that they discovered rooms that have been neglected, like rusty chains and stuff.
Yeah.
What is this
His
spaceship?
ship is that? Yeah.
So he's tracking. So it's interesting how they made a choice to. It's like in my mind, it's like they made a movie and they looked at it like, this just doesn't work. It doesn't tie together. How do we get this guy into this room to get killed? And then moving forward, there's two scenes that kind of like set people up to get attacked by the aliens, and it's like they ran out of ideas. Like, what if we put a cat in this movie?
I told the
And
cat
he's
too.
following the cat. So the guy follows the cat into that rusty room.
Well,
and then he gets attacked and killed.
They're all
and
together. They let the cat go, and then they send one dude. You go run around for 15 minutes and find that cat.
They were very concerned about the cat.
Very concerned. All of us got to stay together in teams. Oh, it's just a cat. Okay, well, screw that. You run around the ship on your own to this weird rainforest room with gigantic chains, water falling down from somewhere, and then
where'd the water come from?
I don't know, but
it was raining outside.
Yeah, but
we're
like
in space.
I'm like, litter box. What's the cat? So they're all in stasis. The cat's running around. That cat would be beyond feral when they all woke up. Like, yeah, I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe it's a space cat. I don't know, but it really questioned. They even had like the little cat cage. She has like a little carrier, she's packing that something.
Oh, she was being very rough with that too when she was running. I was like, that cat's inside there, just getting tumbled around.
Like, at least it's problems, but
at least it
distracted.
wasn't an egg.
At least it wasn't in an egg. Very good point, Richard. Yeah.
Somebody explain the cat to me though. It just doesn't add up. I don't. It was not. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's an albatross.
Yeah, I had issue with it as well, but you're right, Richard. Probably is. What do you think, Ross?
I don't know what to think about it. I didn't actually watch it, but that's a surprise for everybody.
I'm shocked.
It's actually kind of fun to sit here and listen to you guys analyze the movie and talk about it. And I'm imagining in my head what the spaceship looks like, what the cat in space looks like.
It was way too big for 7 people.
Well, it was like a mining ship or something, I think, or they
it was
were
the
towing
size of
something.
Oregon.
Yeah, it was some sort of industrial. It wasn't the little sporty cruiser.
Yeah, they had 20 million tons of ore on it or something.
Yeah, which is a lot,
guess,
even in space tons, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, put that in terms of hay, and then think about how much that is.
It would take you several lifetimes to probably haul 20 million tons by hand. Yeah, or by any means. Yeah.
That's a lot of tons. No, when I went to Google and looked for the movie on there were several different aliens movies that came out, and I really wasn't sure which one I was supposed to pick anyways, but
The old one. Yeah.
I never did watch it. So.
Well, you're getting a pretty good breakdown of it now,
No, now I kind of want to go see what the hell's up with this freaking cat.
Dude, yeah, it certainly had merit. Like I said, like I don't recall ever watching it stem to stern before, but I was glad I did. And even with the cat and the shitty boat or ship, I call it a boat. Yeah, but some good kind of some suspense. The very end where she's almost escaping and she goes in the little escape pod. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, all those freaking walls look like that damn alien head anyways. And she's flip-flopping around. Next thing you know, the lead press-on nails come out and scare the crap out of her. Yeah, I was like, holy crap, it is. That is the animal. It wasn't just a wall. So, yeah, it was. Because I completely forgot everything about it. So I was like, it's not over with yet. It's like, that was way too easy. So there's got to be the surprise at the very end,
There's also a scene in there when at the end, in typical 70s, 80s movie fashion, I think they got to the end of the movie like, wait a minute, we haven't had any scantily clad women yet in this movie. So they have Sigourney Weaver stripped down at the end of it for no apparent reason.
In her tidy whities, yeah.
And I was just laughing at her underwear. Underwear is 2 sizes too small.
No,
Wasn't
easily. More than that, yeah. Like
it's like she put them on when she was 12, and then she just never changed her underwear, and she grew
maybe
up.
they were like space underwear. They grew with you, and they were just behind. Yeah, like, Raleigh, like literally, Sigourney Weaver weighs about $115, and half her ass was sticking up above the top of her undies. Like they were just like a miniature.
Just
like
way, yeah,
it's hilarious.
way too small.
Yeah,
That was that the scene when they woke up.
that was at the end.
Well,
She was getting ready. She was getting ready to go back into stasis or go power sleep because she'd escaped and she was going to take off in the pod, so she had to go to sleep. So naturally, as Joel said, we got Sigourney Weaver. We got to see something. And so, she's in her little tidy whities.
Well, here's why they did it. Here's how they pitched it to her, probably because as soon as she took off her clothes, she was gearing up to escape. But then, like, the alien reappeared and she went and hid.
Mm-hmm.
And during her hiding in a very confined space, she had to slip on one of her spacesuits.
Yeah.
And so the director was probably like, we can't have her getting undressed at that point. We got to get her undressed earlier because you can't put on that spacesuit when you're fully clothed.
Everybody knows that. I mean,
duh.
Yeah. And you must be mostly naked when you go into stasis to sleep a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
The interesting thing is the artist that Aliens is based on. There is a cool ass Netflix documentary about I wish I could remember his name. He's German, and like when Ridley Scott decided to make Aliens, he went and got this guy in Germany and used his paintings to develop it, and that's why it has such a unique look. And like separates itself. Why it always be separate from all other sci-fi movies? Because it came directly from this wingnut crazy artist that had a lot of input into the look and the feel of the movie, and he on his own is a total trip. So I would suggest watching the Netflix movie about creating aliens, because it's equally as impressive as the actual movie, and it adds a lot of depth to it. And you can see as they go farther away and after he dies that dark edge of the movies is lessened after. I think the first two hold pretty true, and then I think he passed away and just doesn't have that same look and feel.
So there you go, Rawls. You can go watch that kind of behind the scenes documentary thing and probably catch quite a bit of the intricacies. But you won't see the big room with the wet chains hanging down in the middle of the ship for some reason, which is just like down the hall from where they were before. So
it's raining in space. All right.
But
maybe they had plants and ecosystems.
This is one of the few movies where the second movie was probably equal to or as good or better than the first one.
For 1979, it was really well done. Like, like production value, like it holds up, and there's little things that are interesting, like the TV screens, of course, like they still have two tube TVs, right?
And every computer makes that sound when it's like any letters on the screen have to have this is a computer printing out a word sound.
And every available wall is just full of computers. I don't know. It was interesting.
I think it's good. It's a good movie. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, there's just things where you're like, I mean, if our biggest concern is cat and not the fact that something crawled out of a dude and literally 10 minutes later it's the size of me, so.
That's hard to overlook, though. The cat thing, I can't look past that. I don't know what's going on with the cat.
Joel always interesting perspective on every movie so far.
100%, man. Yeah.
I mean, the things that he picks out about John Wayne being gay and the cat really make me look forward to being able to pick the next movie.
And really, from my experience, that's how Joel looks at life. So it's not just our movie time. It's Joel's world, man. That's just what that's why we drug him along or asked him to come join us, because we need that focus, that point of view, because it's damn sure none of us have it.
Yeah.
And that's why.
Interesting perspective. I'm really looking forward to the next assessment.
Are you picking the movie this week, or Raleigh? Sorry.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
So, Richard, any final thoughts on Alien before we move on to your word of the week?
No, I just
we covered it.
It's a nice classic.
It was, and again, I had not seen it front to back, maybe ever. So, and it was timely with the quarantine, and if they would have listened to that and adhered to the 24-hour rule, then what's his dick would have been out there and taken over by the aliens, and they'd have flown home and been like, "Ooh, sucks to be you, buddy." So, rules are rules, man.
The moral of the story is always listen to Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, I guess that would be one of them for sure. Yeah. If I ever run into her, I'll sure we'll talk about something. I don't know if I'll listen or not.
I think she warned them in Avatar about some major stuff going down too.
Are you calling her an alarmist, Richard?
Maybe a little bit.
Okay, it's fine.
So.
Okay, now vastly becoming one of my favorite segments of this adventure is the Far Reach's word of the week, and this word of the week is brought to you by Brad Burr and all things Richard. And so, Richard, if you'd like to give us your word so we can ponder on it and see if we know what the hell you're talking about, and then I'm sure you can enlighten us if we do not.
Well, I might not be able to enlighten you, but I think all together we could figure this word out.
Ooh, I like it. Let's do some ciphering.
It's a cowboy slang word. Another one.
Gotcha.
Sorry. Grulia.
Grulia.
I dated a girl that had that last name one time.
Oh, I thought you said that when she was infected with it.
No, that was her last name.
Julia Grulia? No,
yeah.
that was her
first. No, that was her first name too. Actually,
like wedding
Julia.
singer. That was
yes.
Julia. Yeah.
Yes.
So can you spell it, Richard?
No.
Okay, perfect. Just like it sounds. Just like it sounds, you dumbass. Grulia. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard it. I can't remember what it is. I'm thinking.
So the first time I heard it, it's one of those, like, in the oil field, there's a million different things called a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Different tools. Like, they'll tell you to go get the dog, and you'll bring them the dog that you think it is, and then they'll say, not this dog, the other dog. I'm like, well, why don't you give that tool another name? So,
yeah.
But anyways, the first time I heard it, I was out of the desert, and there was a couple cows and a full-grown bull calf that had been out there for a couple of years that hadn't been gathered. And my uncle called him a Grulia bull, but he was red. But then I've seen Grulia horses that are gray. So, anyways, I think it has something to do with color and also sort of like feralness.
Like feral, kind of. Rawls, have you heard that?
I was hoping Raleigh might have heard it before.
I thought you were saying Rulia without a G. Is it like a Grulia horse?
It's Rulia with a G. Yeah.
And Pam or Pan?
Grulla.
Oh, that's a.
Your guess is good as mine.
Well, there's also a Gorilla Mustang.
Yeah.
Gorilla.
So I'm trying to pin it down. But I always thought it was a cool word. Whoa, that's not going to work.
So according to the interweb, it's Grullo. Yeah. But
I'm going to make my guess. I think I know what it is.
All right, Mr. Joel. Let it rip.
I think it is a farm animal, whether it's horse or a cow, that has a liver disease.
Aha. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like kind of a dun color. and kind of some mouse and gray colors too. Pretty, actually.
Is there a definition for the word or just the?
No, it just talks about a horse color for what I've seen so far. Yeah.
It's actually a black horse with dun colors in it.
Yeah.
With
Or
what colors?
a blue dun.
Well, it says, what I looked up, it said Grulia or Grulo are
Yeah.
terms to describe the color of a black horse with dun genes.
What is a dun gene?
It's over with.
A dun is typically kind of a buckskin sorrel color.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the reference you made about the bull, that interests me, Richard. I'm
I
curious.
just like to know. I'd love to figure out the origin of the word, because the color could have developed over like all the Tiger Mustangs and Bay Butte were sort of a Grulia color.
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder if somewhere Wild and Grulia and the color all got mixed together and misinterpreted.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, all the guys that probably know that answer are dead.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to make something up then. I would think that's probably how it came to be with those Mustang horses, that color, a lot of them being wild, feral, etc. And if a bull had gone that same way or been out there a few years, makes sense, I think.
I'll be right back.
Thanks for the warning. Put your pants on this time.
So not the most exciting word of the day, but I always like I just think it's an interesting the way it rolls off your tongue.
It's we could start using it more, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. If we could figure out the root.
It's GR.
We may have dated some Grulia girls. Well, Joel definitely has.
According to Joel, he has. Yeah. Julia Grulia. Yeah. Oh, that's too funny.
I think you might have mixed some edibles with Seinfeld.
That could be dangerous because it's really about like, what's that like? Talking about nothing, when you're, that could hurt. Yeah. So, goodness. Yeah. I guess so we had our,
What did we learn? Have I learned anything this week?
I don't know. You're going to tell us. We're just getting ready to kick into that. So.
Oh, could you hear me when I said that?
Uh-huh.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it was respectful still. Yeah. So. Would you like to lead off with what you learned?
Me?
Yeah.
I was just asking a question. I was asking Jess if I learned anything this week.
She's definitely going to say no.
Before I got on, there was something that I just can't remember what it was, but this afternoon I went outside and sat out there and had a beer. And I was just looking at rocks. And I was like, how old are rocks?
Yeah, old. Yeah.
Yeah, they could be anywhere from 10,000 years to a few billion. The average age of your average rock that you might come across is about 750 million years old. I think that's pretty interesting that, yeah, anything else that's 750 million years old is going to be in a museum. You got all these rocks. Just you can pick one up. It's that old.
Like, just go out there and make yourself into dirt eventually. Thank you very much.
It's not worth anything.
Or your car.
Some people it is. Depends on if you're needing a good rock or not.
If you need a good rock, I can point you in the right direction.
That's good to know. It's handy.
Usually down.
It's hard to find.
Look down. There's
unless it's rocks from above. Yeah, that could be bad.
Yeah.
Rawls, I'm curious to know, what have you learned?
I'd had several things on my mind, and this morning I hopped on Facebook and somebody had posted a really neat, and if you guys have looked at my page, I reposted it, when I posted, I just put perspective over the top of it. And I don't know if you guys have read it, but it really shined a light on our situation that we're in right now. For me, I just it kind of reinforces how good we really have it right now, even through all the bullshit we're dealing with. And I'll just read it to you. It'll take me about a minute here, but it says, for a small amount of perspective during these crazy times, imagine you were born in 1900. When you were 14, World War I started, and it ended on your 18th birthday. 22 million people were killed. And on the same year, Spanish flu epidemic hit and hit the planet, and you are 20, and runs until you are 20. 50 million people die in those 2 years. When you're 29, the Great Depression begins. Unemployment hits 25%. Global GDP is 27%. That runs until you're 33. The country nearly collapses along with the world economy. When you turn 39, World War II starts. You aren't even over the hill yet. When you're 41, the United States is fully pulled into World War II. Between your 39th and 45th birthday, 75 million people perished in that war, and 6 million in the Holocaust. At 52 years old, the Korean War starts and 5 million people perish. At 64, the Vietnam War begins, and it doesn't end for many years. 4 million people die in that conflict. Approaching your 62nd birthday, you have the Cuban Missile Crisis, a tipping point in the Cold War. And life on our planet, as we know it, could well have ended. Great leaders prevented that from happening. As you turn 75, the Vietnam War finally ends. Think of everyone on the planet born in, Think of everyone born on the planet in 1900. How did you survive all that? A kid in 1985 didn't think their 85-year-old grandparent understood how hard schoolwork was. Yet those grandparents and now great-grandparents survived through everything that they just listed above. Perspective is an amazing art. Let's try and keep things in perspective. Be smart, help each other out, and we will get through this. In the history of the world, there has never been a storm that has lasted. This too shall pass. I just found that to be really interesting and some really good facts to kind of wrap your mind around. I mean, and it's simple. We really don't have that big of a deal right here, but we're making an awful big deal out of it, and it could be a heck of a lot worse. I just found it to be an interesting little article that I learned a lot from.
Yeah, I like that. That was good.
You know
I had
that
an interesting. As I was driving to the hospital today, I had to go through a bunch of barricades and stuff. I was thinking, this is like amateur hour. I tried to get a water heater into the figure skating ring in Salt Lake City after 9/11, and it took 8 hours. So, and that at the time, I've tried to tie this back to perspective. That at the time, because there was drug sniffing dogs, National Guards, big guns, and that at the time seemed like it was the worst thing that ever came down the road.
Mhm.
Then, so driving through a little obstacle course at the hospital and having to do the screening, I thought, things have been a little bit worse. It seems really bad now because we're living it, but yeah, it's not nearly as bad as after 9/11 and some of the things I went through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if that person lived to be 120, they'd have to make their way through a very bad cold season.
you couldn't have said it better.
That'd suck if it's what took you out.
Yeah. Yeah, what was that movie? Lawless? Was that movie Lawless where that guy got shot and he got his throat cut? He still didn't die, and then he ended up, they were like ice fishing or something, and he fell in the water and got a cold and died, at the very end. Like all this other friggin', crazy stuff happened to him. Full on rebel. Yeah, he gets cold. So nobody's immune to that, but it's just goes to show it's been around for a while too. So. Oh. Wow. I'm trying to think what I learned. I learned that that you can only keep people cooped up for so long, and even some of the most liberal people are going to start questioning the hell's going on, and I've seen it a lot this week, especially where we started with flatten the curve, and now it's got to find the cure. And when did that happen? And I saw Dave Portnoy, who does Barstool Sports. He had a great rant earlier I saw on Twitter today. You'd be proud of me, Joel. I was looking at Twitter. And his analogy was, we've done what you ask. It's like we've got on a cross-country flight that's supposed to be 6 hours long, and we're all prepared for that. And 5.5 hours into the flight, they come on and say, we're sorry, it's going to be another 10-hour flight. No, you can't do that. That's not how this shit works. So his perspective was appreciated, certainly, and I think it goes to show, like, yeah, that's why we started, was to quote unquote flatten the curve, and now it's talking about a cure, which is ridiculous. We don't have a cure for hardly anything. So I think perspective, Raleigh, is very important in many ways, for certain. So.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible how the goalposts have moved like that. I was saying the same thing, that it's become very politically divided. You see I don't want to paint a broad brush, but generally it's pretty liberal people telling you to put on a mask and stay home, and they can't fathom why these people are out there protesting, right? It's like, put yourself in their shoes. Like these people they've lost their job. They aren't getting the bailout that it seems. What do we pump, like $6 trillion against our national deficit, and all these people have gotten is $1,200. Like, you shut down everything and you have given them no lifeline. Of course they're pissed off. And instead of like understanding what they're going through, all they do is vilify them and call them racist for some reason. Like, that has anything to do with it. Anyway, Micah, yeah, I think Dave Portnoy had a very prescient little speech there. And I'm just baffled that people don't understand it, and they can't put themselves in other people's shoes on this. Like, I'm fine. I can work from home. This is great for me, actually. Like, fantastic. Yeah. But I see there's other people that are really suffering, and it's become political, and it's embarrassing for Democrats. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Thank you, Forrest. Yeah, it's, if you own a business, I don't want to bail out. I don't want your $1,200. I don't want your anything. I want you to. This is so weird to say out loud. I want you to let me go open my store so I can do what I do, what I've saved my whole life for, what I've done, like that barber in Michigan. He's been a barber for 50 or 60 years. That's what he does. That's all he knows. That's where his money comes from, and
yeah. And now he's a racist.
Apparently. Yeah. I guess, obviously, if you disagree, you're a racist. I think that's the go-to. Well, that well is beyond dry, for one. Like, that's so ridiculous. Yeah. And if you're talking about, we don't want any more aid. We don't want any more stimulus package. We don't need any more money from ourselves anyways. Just turn the lights back on. That's all we ask. That's all we should demand, because like I said earlier today to somebody else, this money comes from somewhere. Elon Musk was talking about it on Rogan's podcast. It's like, there's not just like this magic thing called the economy, like a big cornucopia where shit just drops out more and more. People have to make stuff for it to come from somewhere. You have to sell things to get revenue, to get taxes, to send it back to us in the first place. So it's completely infeasible to talk about living wage and all this crap where everybody could just stay home. Nobody's making anything. So the money is not real, even worse than normal. And nobody wants to just do that anyways. And if you wanted to stay home, that's fine. I'm not paying for you. Let me go work. Get out of the way. And again, it's about choice and it's about life. And that's what it boils down to. And people are seeing that, I think, more and more every single day. And I hope they continue to see that. and not tolerate it. Rumpf.
Here. I agree with you.
With that shining moment. Well, this is next to word of the week. This is definitely one of my favorite things. It's the best thing of the week because we like to end on a high note. And what's your best thing? It could be two things, it could be one thing, it could be from today, it could be from the last time we spoke, it could be from a year ago. I don't care. I just want to end on something that's good that we found and that we liked. So
I got to do what I learned.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, Richard. You just learn stuff all the time. I'm used to hearing about it.
Yeah.
Sorry. You
So
should have stopped me
Raleigh-
way sooner than that. I had a really great intro into best thing, and then.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
the bus left the station, man.
So Raleigh's, what he shared brought something into perspective, and also what the rest of you shared. So this week in Lakeview, the sheriff came out, wrote a letter to the paper, and then recorded on the newspaper that he is no longer receiving calls of people turning in people without face masks or not practicing social distancing. The Lake County Sheriff's Office is not dealing with that any longer. So
Yes.
yeah, people
And
are
basically that they're to uphold the Constitution.
Yeah.
And that was
it was much more eloquent than I explained, but I did experience my first corona death of somebody that I knew. My former boss from Washington that I had my first non-ranch job at the age of 19. He was in one of the nursing homes in Seattle that come to corona, but
that's too bad.
The reason I wanted to share this and what Raleigh's perspective thing brought on is his name was John Keener, and he was a really exceptional person. Before cell phones, he ran this giant catering company that did wildfires and special events all over the country. I had gone back east to an HIV/AIDS ride, and it was new to me. It was this whole weird experience and like this hick out of Lakeview. And I'm walking to LaGuardia, first time even on the East Coast, and I got paged in the airport. And I never talked to John in my entire life. So I go up to the courtesy phone and I'm talking to him. This is way before cell phones. I'm like, not many people even know I'm in LaGuardia Airport in New York. And so I answer, and it's John Keener on the other end of the phone, and he goes, yeah, hey, you got that bike ride all wrapped up? And I'm like, yeah, I'm in the airport headed home. You called me here. And but
turns out
he goes, I need you to be in a fire on day tomorrow morning. I'm like, okay. He goes, there'll be somebody there at the airport to pick you up. I think I was landing in Klamath Falls, and they'll just take you straight to John Day. You don't even have to worry about it. He goes, I said, like, well, I don't have any clothes or anything. He goes, don't worry. We'll just put it on the company credit card. Everything will be fine. We'll get you hooked up with the tent. And I was like, yeah, sure. Anyways, that began my long relationship with John Keener, who is the man that I spent a horrifying night in an RV with in downtown Fresno, surrounded by a gang war that had broke out and helicopters flying around. And we drank kokanee beer and got drunk and went outside and peed while the helicopter spotlighted us. And the next morning they sent somebody in to check on us, some cops to check on us. And I always enjoyed the story because I was very excited to go back to the hotel room with the rest of the crew, and my other boss informed me that I'd be staying with John. And I said, what am I staying with John? And he's like, well, it's dangerous. You got to watch the equipment. Anyways, we got so drunk. I don't think that we could have done anything if had anybody come to do anything with the equipment.
Well, luckily the gang war probably kept him at bay, so that was handy.
I love
But
that story. There's a big gang war going outside, and you're just peeing.
Had it not been for John Keener, I would have led a much more sheltered life. And he was as big a hick as I was, but he taught me that there's a lot to life that you can live. And I was fortunate to when I talked to his grandson and his son, we all agreed that he didn't want to be in the nursing home anyways, and that the man had managed to pack like 5 lifetimes into one, and Corona was not the speed bump that it wasn't his end. It was just part of his life. So yeah, that was a sort of a interesting thing that happened to me. So I think if anything, it just reinforces those guys like John Keener are sort of a rare breed, and you gotta live life like they do, because man, I think in the end it's worth it.
Couldn't agree more.
So
Well, I'm
Great
glad
story. That was
Yeah.
a good story.
I'm glad you said something, Richard. Just let me drive past you. Yeah. You stopped the bus. I appreciate it. Raleigh, let's go to Joseph for best thing of the week. That's you. Yeah.
Best thing of the week.
Besides your Baylor. I mean, if you want to say your Baylor, that's fine. It's a pretty nice Baylor, but
Better than my Baylor. My wife's coming home tomorrow, so
oh, that's perfect too.
looking forward to that. It's been almost a week, but best thing of the week has got to be that. There's been quite a few little things during the week that were good. I recently, due to the meat shortage and the demand for local products and whatnot, we have a kill house in Elgin. It's a small butcher shop basically, but they do USDA inspected kills once a month, and so I took the time to take a couple butcher cows in, and thought that during this time it'd be good to help folks out around that are looking for meat and maybe can't get it. I was very humbled by the outpour of people that are looking into the private sector with the producers rather than going through big retail. It was eye-opening to me to see the response and how fast a guy can move a pretty good lot of beef into the public. I'm really, to me, I think it's a good sign that if anything from this coronavirus is coming up, the importance of agriculture and the people involved in it and what they're producing for the public has there's a heightened awareness that's going to be good for the industry, I think. So that was kind of a good moment for me to see.
That's
I think
awesome.
my brother bought some beef
Yes.
from you, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
He texted me. He was bragging about it.
Yeah.
As well he should. Yes.
Yeah. But and Richard can attest to what the demand's looking like through Desert Mountain and whatnot. And I think it's high time that agriculture maybe takes a little more of a front seat in the consumer's life, and they get a better look at what we do out here day in and day out to produce sustenance for them. So
I think Raleigh should be extra proud that he got Joel's brother to spend money too. That should
Speaking of which, Raleigh, do you need any free labor in any of the coming weekends? I'm going to come up there and I'll work for free. Well, for beer.
Ooh.
No, actually, don't let that be a deal breaker. I'll bring the beer.
No, I think it'd be great to show you around, kind of give you a Brooklyn look at ranch life day in and day out. It'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, so I can't do it this weekend, but maybe the following weekend I can come up there.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty wet this weekend, raining and whatnot, so it probably wouldn't be the best anyways. So
everywhere I go is wet.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go look for Curly's Gold or something when you're up there in Wallowa County. Yeah. Look at you just caught hail, didn't you, Joel? Yeah. You got the look, didn't you? Yeah, I can tell. Oh, well, I will piggyback on Raleigh's best thing of the week. And one of mine for sure was that my shipment of Desert Mountain grass-fed beef showed up today to my doorstep. And so some is thawing out as we speak. I'll have some tomorrow. So I was excited about that. I was able to, even though I'm in the no-fly zone, I'm out of the western sector, we come up with some shipping options, and I was able to get it here. So I was pretty stoked about that. And And other good thing is last night I thawed out a really nice ribeye for my friend Jeff at Colorado Craft Beef. It had a ribeye that you could cut with a fork. And for you kids to know, that's a pretty damn good steak. So
Yes.
yeah, I was living large, had my smoker running out of my garage because it was raining like a cow pissing on a flat rock. So I just opened the garage door and eased it out to the edge and fired her up and waved to the neighbors, had my music going. Quite the little party. So yeah, it was awesome. Yeah. So that's for me. Mr. Joel, you can go last. Richard, what about you?
Oh, best thing of the week. It's just been a really great week. Don't really have any complaints. Oh, my dad decided I needed a horse.
Was that where that came from?
Yes.
You don't have a
we had a little
horse?
bit. When I moved back, I didn't have
You're
all
a
my horses.
rancher.
Well,
He's
all
telling
my
the
horses.
story.
All my
Right.
horses have been traded off or whatnot. So when I was at the oil field, it wouldn't make any sense for me to keep horses. And then I moved back with the intention of getting a horse, but I've sunk most of my money into the cows and the ranch and that kind of stuff. So we had a little bit of some delayed payments at the end of the year. So a lot of the money that I earmarked for investments and other things got re-put back into the ranch. So it had put me in sort of a bind. I wasn't able to jump out and get a horse. So my parents, being wonderful people that they are, they went out and they found a horse by a family friend that is just I rode him this week. Everything. My dad picks things. I'm now old enough to realize that he knows me well enough. I used to get offended when he'd just show up with stuff that he didn't ask me questions about or anything. He just went out and picked it. It turned out it'd make me mad at first, but he always knew me well enough to pick things that I would enjoy and use. And he really nailed it with this horse. So I'm great. I will forever be in debt with my parents because they're just wonderful people and have just enriched my life so much. But I think it made him happier to see me horseback again and being able to work my own cattle and stuff. So yeah.
When I saw that horse, my first words were hubba hubba. That is a damn fine looking horse, Bradbury. I was impressed.
Well, it's nice because it was raised by a guy that was a cow boss to the MC, and now he's going to be on the MC, and just all around good Great Basin horse. I mean, He's not a Ferrari or a Cadillac, but he's sure a crummy. So.
I love that. That's awesome. No, I was impressed. Damn fine.
So I had a nice ride. I relived my older cowboy days, and I loaded up my border collie dog and the horse, and I drove way out into the desert and spent the day gathering cattle and put them back where they needed to be with no cell phone reception, and it was just a little slice of heaven.
Damn. Yeah. Well done, sir. Well done. Mr. Joel, I saved you for last just because I was really curious and wanted to end on the extra high note of your best thing.
All right. So I was going to ask, what's the question? I gather it's what's the best thing that's happened this week?
Yeah. What's something you didn't gather that from the last three people that talked?
Well, I keep forgetting. Terrible at remembering.
Yeah, it's what we liked this week. What was a good thing? We want to end this on a positive note if all possible, and that's why Raleigh talked about Baylor. His wife's coming home and sold some beef to some local folks that did a good thing. Even
his wife coming home was part of a different segment, though.
No, that was like part of his best thing of the week. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because he's a smart man.
Yeah.
What's the best thing that's happened this week? What's the best thing that's happened this week? She's cooking right now.
Well, how about she's ninjaing on a meal for you while you're sitting here like a jackwagon?
Do you have any ideas? She doesn't have any ideas. The best thing that happened this week for me,
It doesn't have to be earth shattering. It could have been the beer you had outside today and looking at rocks. I mean,
Well, I already talked about the rocks.
I know, but that could have still been the best thing too, though. Again, it doesn't have to be like, yeah, I cracked the code and I figured out cold fusion. It's like, what's the best thing? It was like seeing all your brothers, hanging out in Pendleton, just cooking dinner tonight in the little barn. I mean,
I can already tell you what the best thing of his week is.
Yeah, let me hear it. I'll go with that.
The news that you get to go to Semioti's and have a drink tomorrow.
Hells yeah.
I think Raleigh's right.
Yeah, because that'd be the best thing in my week for damn Skippy. Yeah. I'm thinking about flying out there. Yeah.
You can make it.
I'm gonna go with that. The best thing that happened all week is the news that happened. I also have a guitar here that I haven't picked up to learn. My friend told me about the key chords that I need to learn. I'm going to continue writing songs. I have a good idea for my next song. I just need to put lyrics to it.
Get it spit out. Yeah.
Yeah. So I haven't completely, even though I'm in more freedom in Oregon, I think the benefit of quarantine and lockdown is that you can actually spend some time to explore something that really interests you. And like I like writing.
Yeah.
And turns out I like writing songs, so I'm gonna keep doing that.
I've been exploring how to auctioneer on some YouTube videos. I've always been fascinated by auctioneering. So the other day I was like, well, dumbass, why don't you look it up? So I have been. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be actually really good at that, Micah.
I think it'd be fun. Yeah. You never know. So yeah, I'm doing that. I've been doing some LinkedIn classes, which have been fun as hell too.
Yeah.
They're all there. Just almost anything you can think of. So I've definitely been taking. That's a great point, Joel. Taking advantage of some of that and making your brain a little better. So, hey, and hopefully that's what we do with this every week for everybody that's listening too.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what they think.
Now, if nothing else, it makes them feel better about themselves. I'll never forget when I was in grad school, I was working out the experiment station in Union. And so, I lived in like a little rat trap, single wide. The Forest Service had given this trailer up as surplus. And so Oregon State to put people in. But, it's about 12 feet wide, approximately 90 feet long, and it had walls made of probably, crepe paper. And so, but it was mine. I loved it. It was free. It was great. And so I'd be working in the lab across the parking lot on my stats or something, and something wouldn't be going right. And I'd be all pissy and gripey, and I'd come home to lunch, my little rat trap trailer, and I'd flip on the TV, and like Maury Povich or some crap would be on, with, transvestite jugglers who marry their sister or something, So I'd turn it on and be watching it. I'd be like, and I'd be cooking some hamburger that we'd made from the ranch. And I'm like, you know what? My biggest problem right now is that the statistics program for my master's program that somebody else is paying me to do in my free freaking house is not working like I want. And this person, real or not, doesn't know which one of these guys is the dad. I don't have it that bad. And so my roundabout way of saying is we're probably like Maury Povich for a lot of other people, or Jerry Springer. They realize, hey, maybe I don't have it that bad. I'm not those guys. So if that's what we can bring some light into some people, by God, hammer down. Yeah.
You're the only person that had a house at that age that had a couch that I could sleep on. I thought that place was like the Taj Mahal.
It was pretty damn nice at the time.
I remember it much differently. I remember it being pretty nice pad.
For a free grad student housing, yeah, it was pretty damn nice. But in the wintertime, it would get a little nipply. Yeah. Yeah. I think I had a fish for a while and it died. It got so cold in my house, my fish died.
My level of sobriety was much different then too.
Yeah, it's probably helped me that mine wasn't either, because my boss lived across the lot, and we would have executive meetings, as we called them. Yeah, so
good times.
Oh, I got to tell a quick story about that because it talks about how important the boss is. So I had these rattle trap steps out of my front porch to go toward the office, and they sucked. And every day at staff meeting or every week at staff meeting, like, hey, Bruce, can I get some new steps? Now there's even a set down there. I just thought, yeah, we'll get to it. Whatever. Well, my grad professor and the boss of the entire experiment station and a couple other ones was over one night for executive session. And let's just say when he left, he was heavily relying on the handrail on my shitty steps when you walk out my front door. Well, much to his chagrin, that snapped off and he went piling up in the gravel. It was a hell of a racket. Before I was even out the door the next morning, and I left my house pretty early, what do you know? Bruce was out there putting a new set of steps up because the boss had fallen down. So after that, if I had a problem, I just talked to him or he pointed out when he was over for executive session and shit got handled, so it was pretty handy. So.
I was also very appreciative of the listeners this week correcting the record of your Navy stories.
Oh yeah. I should mention that one of the guys, Tony Dodge, we both lived in this little town called Pine Creek, 120 people or whatever. And we both got into the Navy pretty close to the same time and didn't know it. And so like way early in the 8-week boot camp process, we kind of spotted each other. He saw me at Chow Hall or something. And then we caught back up at graduation. It was only like 2 classes ahead of me, but really the same boot camp graduation. So I got to see his mom was there, his sister was there, and he was there. So somewhere there's actually a picture of us on graduation day too. So again, from literally 110 people in middle of nowhere, Oregon, we were both in boot camp at the same time, just different companies. So yeah, Tony's like, dude, how could you forget that? I'm like, it wasn't the whole entirety of my Navy time. It was just a couple stories I reminded. But yes, good story. It was so cool to see him there on graduation day. So yeah, great feedback this week too on everything. So anybody have any final words of wisdom on those high notes? It's been a while since we've all been together, so it's been good.
No, I'm anxious to hear Raleigh's movie of the week.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Raleigh gets to pick next movie of the week, and he'll also have a word of the week, which is, you don't have to just to give us right now, but just keep that in your brain pocket. That's coming up. But yeah, if you'd like to enlighten us.
On the movie of the week, Joel, if you have any questions on this movie about the cat or the sexuality of anybody being gay,
Pick a good movie then.
The only person I think that might be gay in this movie is Beulah Ballbreaker. So with that, we're going to watch Porky's.
Yes.
The Bill Murray classic?
No Bill Murray.
Is he not it? Is Bill Murray in that?
No.
It's a Canadian classic.
Yeah.
Angel Beach High in Florida.
Kim
Yes.
Cattrall is in that movie.
She is
and
Lassie.
She gets railed up in the upstairs at the gym.
That's why they call her Lassie. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the movie of the week. And,
Out of left field, Mr. Bigsby. Well done, sir. Well done.
It actually came as a recommendation to me from my mother-in-law. So that, believe it or not, I was talking to my wife on the phone about the movie I was supposed to be watching this week, and it was on speakerphone at her parents' house, and I was thinking of movies to come up with to watch, and my mother-in-law came up with Porky's, and I said that is the perfect show for us.
There's
the commentary is going to be priceless.
Oh,
there's so much wool you could knit a sweater.
yeah.
That's what
Yeah. So if you missed the cat on this show,
she's got it. Oh,
So next
Tommy Turner.
next
So
week's
you just gave
episode
Mike
will
a
be
Christmas
rated.
present.
Will be rated R.
I hope so.
What'd you say, Richard?
So Mike is so excited. It's just like Christmas for him.
Oh, I'm just beside myself. I already own it. I might watch it tonight. Again, yeah.
I'm beside myself. So if you short circuit when he goes, I am sitting here beside myself.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I think with our excitement over this, anybody that's viewing this now will certainly want to tune in next week. So
I tell you.
this will be entertaining.
This is one of those movies for me. What formative years, as they say. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a little jump back into our generation of growing up.
Explains a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little known fact: they filmed Porky's 1 and 2 all at the same time.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
That's when you know you have a hit on your hands.
By God, right. We're just boiling on through. We're going to do part 2. Keep the signs
We're like,
running. Yeah.
we have so much good footage. Let's just make up another movie about
The
this.
next day, man. The next day. Yeah. So,
If they hadn't have done that, Peter Jackson would have never known to do that with Lords of the Rings.
see? Yeah. Had to be. Set the precedent for a long time. Classic movies. Star Wars, if you will. Yes. So Ross couldn't be prouder. Yeah, that came out of left field. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, we've had it's like a blind drunken epileptic if you want to track this down with the our movie trail so far. It's beautiful. So well done. So by God, everybody better watch the movie next week. If you need to, I'll play it and I'll do we can do a Facebook what they call it, watch party. Yeah. So I spent enough time seeing you assholes during this week as it is. So yeah, we'll do it. Yeah. Again, Joel's finding a way to get out of it already. Look at him. Yeah. Dirt bag. That's awesome. That's the high point we needed, guys. I think we've had another great week. It's been fun. I'm excited to get this one out to everybody again and get some feedback. We've had some awesome viewer mail. Joel, we had some good viewer mail last week. Some kind words about you even. So yeah, I had to read it twice to make sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Forward that, please.
Well, you could. It's actually, if you go to Far Reaches Podcast on YouTube or at Spotify or anywhere, you could find the podcast itself and listen to those magic words.
For the kind words on last week's episode.
Yeah, when he wasn't around, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, they were glad he wasn't there or something.
Oh,
well, I wouldn't go that far. No, I was actually compliments about several of the hosts. Yeah, it's great. So
was it for my mom or?
No, it was not. Of course it wasn't. Of course it wasn't. She knows you way better than that. Yeah.
Because all the feedback I'm getting in person is all negative. I'll tell you that right now.
You can't count Junior. That doesn't count.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
Yeah, I mean,
he buys a lot of my beer though, so I have to pretend like.
Well, yeah,
I take his view seriously.
We all do. Yeah. I definitely value his opinion. It just makes me laugh. Yeah.
Maybe he just desperately wants to be a guest.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
You guys really want to do that to yourselves?
I just said maybe. I didn't say we were thinking about. Yeah, like, there's a lot of other people we get to talk to.
What,
Fluffy? We love you, Fluffy. You poor little bastard. We'd love to have you on sometime because there are some great stories there.
I've got a curiosity question. Where are you reading all the feedback?
So I get some emails. I definitely get text messages from people. Yeah. So I need to do a better job of cataloging those and sending them out to the group. I apologize, and I won't lie. It's not like I'm busy or nothing, but I just don't.
Yeah. We should build a Far Reaches Facebook page or something.
Yeah, I think we might even have that or something. Yeah. Don't we have one already? I don't even know if we do. Yeah.
We do. Yeah, I have one.
Oh yeah, we can promote it then. Yeah.
It's got like four likes already.
Wow, outstanding. We need to get that linked up. We should probably start posting on that a lot more often. So we'll
People
work on
are
that.
saying very bad things about me.
Poor Mr. Joel. Why would they say anything about you?
That's easy, Joel.
Yeah, that's lame. Yeah. I think we have an Instagram too. I just think we haven't used it yet. Yeah. So but we do have farreachespodcast@gmail.com and Far Reaches Podcast on YouTube. So we'll get that Facebook page rolling out there too, and we can see the comments. And I promise to do a better job of sending around the comments that I get through text and Facebook Messenger or whatever else as well. So
yeah, I promise to do better too.
And that's all I have to say about that. So great, guys. It's been an awesome week, guys. Can't thank you enough for your time again. And it's been fun, and hopefully everybody enjoyed it. And look for this coming out soon, and like and share. So with that, I think we'll wrap up for this week. and it's been one for the ages, as they say. And I kind of feel left out. I'm the only one in not Pacific time zone. So
Yeah.
but we will be back soon, and we'll talk about Porkies. Oh, I can't freaking wait. Awesome. You guys have a great day. Thank you so much. Take care.